Okay, remember I was telling you about a conspiracy of private rights under the color of law. Well, says you can file a complaint about a conspiracy against rights under the color of law with the FBI or the Department of Justice. Okay, Federal Bureau of Investigation. Contact your local FBI office. Provide as much information, details as possible, and it's easy. All you got to do is take the rules of professional conduct, the Code of Judicial Conduct, and show them how nobody did none of that. You don't even need any evidence because nobody does that, and that's why it's here. Okay. Department of Justice, contact Civil Rights Division. This is how you tear down the two-tier justice system. I mean, if you want to report corrupt lawyers and judges, it's through a conspiracy to deprive rights under the color of law, and you just use the rules and the codes, cite the letter of the law, spirit of the law, the rule of law. The FBI will investigate and forward the findings to the U.S. Attorney's Office and the Department of Justice. And that's what I did before, but when the FBI sent it to the Department of Justice and they sent me the letter, they didn't put in there about the conspiracy to deprive rights under the color of law, but that's exactly what I described to them. I gave them exculpatory evidence besides all the laws that were violated, and that's why they heard me out. I got a letter, they sent it to the Department of Justice, and I'm still waiting for an answer, but I'm gonna hit them up again. But before I do, I want to make sure somebody knows what I'm doing in case something happens to me. Okay, if you or someone else, you won't. Okay, so Civil Rights Division, see what? Check it out. Civil Rights Division, statutes to enforce. Come on. I got a cheap generic phone, so sometimes it takes a little. Okay. Conspiracy against rights. See? 18 U.S.C. 241. Okay. So that'll tell you. I already told you it's easy. Is privation of rights under the color of law felony? Conspiracy against rights under the color of law. Who investigates the color of law violations? What is a conspiracy to violate the rights under the color of law? It further makes it unlawful for two or more persons to go in disguise on a highway. Yeah, well, I explained to you one, not on a highway, but in court. And it's easy because reporting misconduct is mandatory. Your lawyer violated all the rules of professional conduct. And since it's legally mandatory for all lawyers and judges to report misconduct, the opposing party was supposed to cite your attorney for ineffective assistance counsel. The judge was supposed to cite your attorney for ineffective counsel. Even your own attorney is legally required to cite himself for ineffective assistance of counsel. And then your attorney is supposed to cite the judge or the opposing party for multiple violations, including not informing or reporting your attorney for ineffective assistance of counsel. And the judge, judicial misconduct, failure to report, the violations in the rules and the codes against the lawyers that were working in the court against you. What is the federal statute of color of law? Provision makes it a crime for someone acting under the color of law to willfully deprive a person of a right or privilege protected by the Constitution or laws of the United States. We went through that. What can you do if your human rights are violated? Create an account civil rights system for yourself. All you need is a valid email address and phone number. Once you have an account, our staff will allocate your account with a complaint. One the following example of a conspiracy against rights. You want to know how to take down crooked lawyers and judges? Well, I'm telling you how. Through a conspiracy to deprive rights under the color of law. Constitute depriving rights under the color of law. Arrest and fabrications of evidence. Okay, Department of Justice, we already went through that, right? FBI. There you go. And I have a few people that are on the run going off grid because they were threatened, intimidated for divulging the conspiracy to deprive rights under the color of law in the cases of their states. Well, they told me they were going to go off grid because they were in fear of retaliation, and I did inform them that I was beaten and left for dead, so you can't blame them. See? Okay, I just thought I'd remind you. People say get a civil rights attorney, but I mean, if a civil rights attorney did his job, he would divulge conspiracy against rights under the color of law everywhere. And it's going on everywhere. It's just that, I don't know, the legal system wants you to have the impression that you need them. What you need them to do is to do their job, as prescribed in the Rules of Professional Conduct, Code of Judicial Conduct, etc., etc., etc. Nobody's doing their damn job. Nobody wants to work. How to file a discrimination complaint against a business, what to do when your civil rights are violated, how to file civil rights lawsuits in federal court, okay? Getting Uncle Sam to enforce your civil rights, conspiracy against rights, complaint, UnitedStatesCourts.gov, complaint for violation of civil rights, non-prisoner. 3 questions about Section 241, the conspiracy against rights, deprivation of rights under the color of law, say civil rights violations. What does it mean to act under the color of law? Under the color of law is a legal term that describes when someone uses their authority as a government official to abuse their power and violate an individual's right. This can include police officers, judges, and other government employees. Examples: actions under the color of law, false arrest. That's what I told people about probable cause. Hearing a cop tried to arrest me minus probable cause. So he threatened me. He took my wallet, went through my wallet, and he ran my name and said if I was on parole or probation, he was going to violate me and I'll never get out. And I wasn't on parole or probation. I even told him. And then he wanted to know where my money was at. Failure to prevent harm to an individual, excessive force, sexual assault, cops. I can't count how many times cops threatened me with false arrest until I start throwing laws at them. One started asking me questions. I says, "Oh, that's entrapment." I says, "You're seriously?" I says, legally you're violating my right to remain silent, and that's entrapment. You're trying to find probable cause for what? Is this a traffic stop, or is this a drive-by stop and frisk? And if you're gonna do a Terry stop, a stop and frisk, you can't go beyond a pat down So there's no sense in patting down my car. If you ever look up a Terry stop, it's just a pat down to see if you got any weapons. They can't go through your pockets, make you take off your socks and shoes, drop your drawers. Privation of rights under the color of law. Okay. I'm just trying to encourage you to look it up. Just making a short one really quick. All right, thank you and good night. Remember, you can contact the DOJ and the FBI. Thank you and good night.